Jason Lutz here for Tools of the Week. Now, my tool of the week this week is use tech. And now, what does that mean? Really use technology. I'm in the wood shop today, and while I do a ton of wood crafting and I do a ton of old school wood crafting, I do use a fair amount of technology as well. You know, you can see behind me, I've got a couple different CNC machines where I can be milling wood, you know, to an exact dimension for a project. My laser CNC allows me to go in and customize really anything that I make for the customer. So I love to embrace technology in the wood shop, but I also love to embrace technology in the sales process. Now, using technology in the sales process, in my opinion, really has made it leaps and bounds better and leaps and bounds easier to sell if you just embrace the technology. So what am I talking about? Lots of different technology. I think on one end, I mean, the gamut is very, very wide on how much technology you could use in the sales process. But at a very minimum, are you using a CRM? Are you using some kind of tool to track the sales process from opportunity, from lead, opportunity, working through the process, asking for the order, close, and follow up? Those CRMs can be, stuff like Salesforce.com. If you're in different industries, they can be things like WeSuite. They can be things like ServiceTitan. Different types of CRMs for different industries. But use a CRM. Second piece, social media. If you're not using social media in the sales process, you're absolutely not doing yourself justice. Now, when we think of social media, we think of, TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram and having an influencer. And while those things are critically important and those things can actually overdrive your sales, even the staunchest, traditionalist, old school sales professional who doesn't want to do those kinds of things should be using very basic social media. Give you an example. LinkedIn. You should never, ever go on a sales call. You should never do a sales presentation for an opportunity until you have connected with all of the decision makers of that opportunity on LinkedIn first. You do that, you don't know the customer yet, you haven't met them, but if you connect with them on LinkedIn, especially 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and then post good, valuable content, stuff that shows you as the professional in your industry, then when you go sit down at the table with Mr. and Mrs. Jones or whoever it is, could be a homeowner, could be a CEO, they feel like they already know you. They have followed you on LinkedIn. They see what you're doing. It turns a cold sales call into a very, very warm sales call. I'm going to a big trade show this week, and I will walk the floors of that trade show, and hundreds of people will come up and say hi to me that I don't know because I'm connected to them on social media, connected to them on LinkedIn, and we have this relationship. We have this bond. They feel like they know me. Makes it for a very warm sales call when I walk up and start talking to somebody. Some of the other examples, AI. I think we're just at the very beginning of what AI will do in the sales process. Do I think AI is going to eliminate sales professionals? No. Do I think AI is going to make good sales professionals substantially better? Absolutely. Give you a prime example. Got a great sales professional, brand new in his sales career, started with the company right in the middle of the pandemic. Couldn't go out, couldn't see customers. There was really no transition from the last rep to the new rep, so he didn't know anybody. More important, he didn't know who he didn't know. He could look at a spreadsheet and say, okay, here's some of my customers. Well, I know I'll reach out to them. He didn't know who wasn't his customer. So what does he do? He goes in and he types in his address where he lives, and he types in the address of the city where he wants to go and says, tell me every single security company between point A and point B and give me a map. And ChatGPT pulled up and gave him an exact list of everybody he should call on and a map how to get to each one of them all the way to his point B. Like, that's cheating the system. But why shouldn't you cheat the system? When you're posting stuff on social media, when you're when you're talking to customers, you should be perceived as the expert in your industry. You should be the expert in your industry. What better way to make you look smart? Jump into Grok, jump into ChatGPT and say, write me a blog on whatever, and it will write you a world-class blog. You can go in and say, write me a blog on this in the format of a 25-year-old, and it will write it like you're 25 years old. Go in, copy, edit it a little bit, change it so it sounds like it's coming from you, it's coming from your heart, add in some things about your company, add in some technologies that you offer, copy and paste, throw it on LinkedIn as an article, boom. Sit down with your customer and say, hey, here's an article I had on this. It makes the process crazy easy. So my tool of the week this week are find your technologies. Embrace some of this tech. Embrace social media. Embrace AI. It will help you in the sales process. It's not going to put you out of a job. I do believe it's going to put low-performing salespeople out of a job. You're either going to have to embrace AI in the sales process or you're going to be left behind. I think we're just at the very beginning, like I said a minute ago. I think, you're going to be able to go in, load in 50 opportunities that you have, that you want to call on, and AI will tell you, here are the top 5 that I think you have the best odds of selling. We use AI today at my employer for sales role playing. Our salespeople go in and they role play with AI, and it tells them, did they follow certain steps? Did they hit the key talking points? Did they get the customer to ask about the key talking points that are important to us? So tons of AI out there, embrace it. So tool of the week this week, use tech. Everybody have a great week. Have a great weekend. Go out and sell something.